Okay, looks like we are working. Yeah. So, welcome in everyone to Tier 2 Round 3 of ALR Season 21. Here at the Red Bull Ring. Another possibility for rain. See, I think we've got a couple of new drivers, or at least one. We can see Ben in second there, but we've got Kellen again on pole position. Let's get rid of that, we don't need it. So Kellen, I think pretty sure this is third in a row. The only race he hasn't won was the feature race last week, I believe. So it's still on an incredible run so far. Then we've got Ben in second. Not completely new drivers returning. Welcome, XNIG. I can see your teammate in fourth. So we'll see. I can also see you a bit further down at the back. Typical XNIG qualifying. But yeah, Ben is not a new driver, he's a returning driver, previous Tier 1 driver, previous Tier 2 champion in the M6, I think. So definitely one to watch for, not surprising that he's in second. Perry in third in the Jaguar, so that is very good for Team Jaguar P1 and P3 to start, and they're both great off the line. Taz in fourth, was really quick in the practice lobby I was hosting before the race and up in fourth, so definitely a good qualifying. He needs to do that with the Ferrari because he's going to drop back at least a little bit with the Ferrari starts. Then we've got also in the NSX. He's been having some decent results. I think he had a decent result. Yeah, both the Hondas did at Nürburgring. And MR cars can be okay here. As long as you can survive turn one, they're usually pretty good. Anonyma in sixth with the Mazda. The Mazda, not a fan of the curbs, so that might be a concern for turn one, but we'll have to wait and see how he handles that. Obviously managed to get a decent lap in qualifying. Senor Fak, a little bit further up, he has struggled, to say the least, in the last two rounds. So I would expect, this is kind of where I expected him to be, sort of mid-pack trying to fight his way forward if he can. And he's in the Lamborghini, another MR car that is tricky over the curb, but other than that should be okay. Then we've got Elian in the AMG down there in 8th. That's a slightly better qualifying than normal from him. Dwellgeist in the 458. 458 again, it's not great over the curbs. If you hit it wrong, you can just get bounced and you will spin and crash and your race is going to be over. So consistency is going to be important for him. Then we've got Asseldor in the Peugeot RCZ. I think he's the only one Morsel's actually missing this round, so that is not great for his championship challenge, giving Kellen even more of an advantage that he didn't really need to give him. Then we have XNIG down in 11th, so actually slightly better than it looks like it was. But yeah, he's going to go backwards again. He's going to go backwards off the line in the Ferrari, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do to get to the top 10 for the reverse grid. Gilles in 12th in the second 458. Again, he had a good round one, and then the 458 was expected to struggle at Nürburgring. Kind of similar here. It really depends on how comfortable the driver is. Then Astro definitely not getting to grips with the Mazda as well as his teammate, I would say, so far. Then we've got Eroticos making his debut this season. I think he is... What car is it? Is Eroticos in? He is in 2018 GTRs, which is a pretty good car. A little bit heavy on the tyre wear. Great on the fuel. So look out for him in the feature race. It'll be interesting to see if he can make his way or fight for the top 10 in this one. Then we've got Prime Cole in 15th. Again, sometimes qualifying not particularly great for Prime Cole, but he does usually make his way forward. He's very consistent. And then Monster Car, from looking at the stats, he did struggle with this one for some reason. Maybe just not getting to grips with the Honda, getting it over the curbs and everything. But yeah, it did not look great. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with his race. Maybe it was just too many penalties, because that is going to be a thing to watch out for. It's very easy to pick them up. True. Yeah, true. If you don't qualify last, you basically want to be... Who have you got behind? A Honda, AMG, Nissan... Yeah, everything behind you is fairly decent off the line, so you might well end up last. It's not the longest runs to turn one, so you never know. As we've got 5 red lights, and out they go. Ooh, someone either got a great start or somebody jumped it. That might have been Anonyma. They absolutely nailed that start there. But it is like we thought. Jaguar's up into P1 and P2. Ben managed to slot in P3. Taz only losing one position. That is great for Taz. Only lost one position from his qualifying. Oh, Senor Fight first person. Is it the first person? Yeah, first person to pick up. Oh no, Anonymous got one as well. So 2 drivers with half-second penalties out of turn 1 already. I'll peg Anonymous back slightly, but as long as the penalty is actually fairly accurate, a half-second penalty does cost you pretty much half a second. One of the very few tracks where that is the case. So he might not lose a position from this, as long as he can really stick to the back of Ben and he doesn't let Taz get too close. Oh, Sinofak making a mistake, goes wide. Actually managed not to lose a position. Gonna have dirty tyres through this section, and this is where he's gonna want the going wide already. It's where he's gonna need the grip. So I think Senor Fak is probably going to lose this position to Asseldor, who's made up quite a few positions actually. And Otto's dropped back, so I'm guessing he must have got shuffled out on the outside of turn 1. As we've got Asseldor does manage to get around Senor Fak, and Otto's trying to go around the outside. Great move there from Otto. Absolutely great move. He's incredibly difficult to make it around the outside cleanly, and XAG actually didn't look to lose that many places. He's already up into 9th, potentially going for 8th. Not quite, does slot in 9th ahead of the 2, 4, 5, 8s. Throttle just pulling out. Going to give him the outside for this hairpin. And the 458 should get much better traction and much better acceleration out of it, so going around the outside is not impossible. See, XNAG just having a small twitch, but I think Throttle Guys just went over the sausage curb, and that killed any momentum there. We've got Monster Cat already off the back, so he's obviously had some sort of an issue. As we'll jump back to the front, so Taz did manage to get that position on Anonymous, and he is pretty quickly onto the back of Ben in 3rd. Now I would expect the Jags to work together. These guys have been teammates in Tier 1 and for a long time. Obviously on the same eSports team, Project Platypus, so they will work together, I think, if they get the opportunity. Just use the slipstream, maybe try and break Ben if they can. Jagu is probably going to have the legs on the M6. The M6 is really good in this last sector. Through the long corners, straights aren't its strong point. Taz taking the fastest lap with a 29.5. Yeah, Perry just sitting behind. Have to keep an eye. Getting the exit of turn 1 is another easy place for people to get penalties. Looks like Taz maybe not having the best exit from there. But it doesn't look like any of the top group have got penalties. Ooh, Perry taking that corner much better than Keller right in the slipstream. This might be the first opportunity to see if they're going to work together. Yeah, it looks like it. Makes sense if they can break the slipstream from Ben. It pretty much guarantees them a 1-2. They can sort out who wins at the end if they really want to. And there's obviously not really much working together to be done here. But it's going to be slightly harder for Perry to keep the pace in the dirty air. But he's managing to stick with him for now. Watch these guys through the last couple of corners, then we'll drop down and see if there are any battles going on, because I do think the front two are going to start working together and just drive off if they can. So as long as they don't make any mistakes. Is Perry going to go for the bump, surely? Yeah, it definitely looks like they're going for the bump there. Taz is pretty close to Ben. May be able to set something up through here. Ben going very wide. Looks like he's got away without a penalty for that. Let's wait for the camera to pan around. No, he hasn't. So Ben picks up a half-second penalty. It did look like he went pretty wide on the exit of turn 1. And this could be the opportunity the Jags have been waiting for, because serving that penalty, if Taz can get alongside or get past, maybe start battling, they're going to be away at the front. Now, this isn't really a track I would have thought the 296 would have been great at. The last sector, it probably is. Kind of similar to the M6 in that way. It's not, the acceleration isn't great, but the handling really is. So maybe it balances out. It's so good in the final sector. Oh, bit of a slide. And that means he'll just go around to Ben. Ben should be safe here from Taz. Had to go to the inside, but they are going to go side by side. This is what I was talking about, maybe them start battling. And the top two maybe just able to break out of that slipstream range. Taz really close to the back of Ben. Both taking a lot of the inside curve. Ben looked like he went wide again. No, but this time it was okay. But fairly similar to the last lap, but not getting a penalty for it. And we've got Anonymous still in 5th, just a little bit off the back of Taz. No, so they did just go side by side for a little bit. So that would have cost them some time. Assador making 4 positions from the grid start. Also, I think he's trying to get back to where he started. And Senor Fact, we did just see go wide on the exit of that hairpin. Gets a half-second penalty. Head of X9G in 9th. Might not be close enough to capitalise on that. And then Thrall guys holding on to the reverse grid position for now. So in fact taking a wide line again, that could just be his line potentially. Focusing on the exit more than getting to the apex. And it looks like he's going to be able to hold on pretty comfortably ahead of X9G there. So still in 8th, not losing the position. Doesn't look like he lost that much time to Auto either. As I think Ben has just set the fastest lap of the race. Still not quite getting onto the back, getting back to the Jaguars in P1 and 2 though. Like Auto was quite close to Assador. Probably not going to be enough for turn 2, but maybe if you can get a good exit, he can have a go into turn 3. So the other good thing about Red Bull Ring is there are plenty of opportunities to make an overtake happen. Ooh, actually might be Assador having a go at Anonyma potentially. Anonyma having to go defensive. Is Assador going to try and go all the way around the outside or go for the switchback? Tries to go all the way around the outside. Looks like he gets the better exit as well. Got to give him the inside for the next corner. Still going side by side. Anonymous really hanging it in there around the outside. And he might actually keep this position. Really well held there from Anonymous. As long as he doesn't get a penalty. Got another place where he can easily pick one up. Yeah, great defending there from Anonymous. I mean, great racing from both of them. It's very easy to have a minor contact to bump someone wide or off the track. Oh, we're about to go 3 wide potentially. And XIG is getting involved as well. They're trying to go 3 wide. Somebody's got to black out surely. And they do kind of. Assador being very brave and hold it around the outside. And Senor Fac can also try to go side by side, and it's cost them a couple of positions with X9G coming through. Now X9G going defensive into turn 2. Looks like it turns pretty nicely. Oh, looks like maybe Thrall guys picking up a penalty for that, possibly. Yeah, did just go all 4 wheels over the curb. Senor Fac still trying to make progress through this field. He's making progress, and then it's becoming undone because he made the move on Auto and then obviously got undercut on undercut switchbacks. That's it, not undercut. Got switchbacks by X9G in turn 1. Oh, and Auto going for a big dive there from Auto. It's not really going to work out because Sinupat's going to keep that position. Throttlgeist isn't going to be able to gain out of it because of the penalty. Oh, and Auto's really trying everywhere he can. Must feel like he can go faster and get onto the back of the guys in front. There's been some great battling so far. We've got 2 4 5 8s together in 10th and 11th. They're Throttlgeist going wide. They're definitely going to want to work together and try and get both of them into the top 10 if they can. And with how aggressive Auto's been, it's definitely a possibility. Sinuphat having to go fully defensive into turn 2. Auto's going to try and hold it all the way around the outside. Looks like he just goes over the sausage curb, but that should be okay to avoid a penalty. But again, it's giving him the outside for turn 3. But we saw Hasseldog go all the way around the outside. Give him the inside into the final sector. But also can't quite do it. And the Ferraris behind look like they're swapping positions, so maybe not working together. There's still 3 laps to go, so I would be thinking about working together. Try and get both of you into the top 10 if you can. Oh, that's wide for Throttlgeist. That's going to be a penalty again, surely. Yeah, another half second. So now Gilles going through into 10th looks a lot more like the right decision. Oh, Throttlgeist maybe going wide again and getting another half second. Yeah, oh, that's costly. It's not going to cost him a position, but it's going to definitely drop him off the fight for P10. As also goes really deep into turn 1. None of these looking like they're going for the move, but we have missed a move for P3. The 2 Jags have managed to pull away pretty comfortably in the end. Helen getting the fastest lap, so another perfect race for him. That's going to be 4, I think, if he wins. Oh, Perry going for a bit of a late move. Not sure he wanted to go for that. I think he was just a little bit later on the brakes than he meant to be. But luckily, manages to back out of it in time, doesn't cause any contact. They definitely don't want to throw away this 1-2. It definitely could. It definitely could. We'll have to see how the feature goes. 4 perfect races out of 5 so far is pretty good going. And as dominance goes, pretty dominant. But we do have, we're coming on to the penultimate lap, Taz in 3rd, but he is coming under pressure from Ben. I wonder if it's been penalties for Ben. 31-3 a couple of laps ago. That may have been what's doing him. The penalties, he looks like he's got the pace, he's almost got the fastest lap. I think there's quite a few people on 29.4s, so very close. How's his tyres looking? A little bit worse than the Ferrari. And considering we're on ×2, that is going to get a bit worse in the feature race. Because the M6 isn't great on tyres, and I know Ben never used to be great on tyres, so it's not a great combination. But just not getting the exit out of that turn 3, or turn 2 rather, and he's lost a decent amount of time to Taz. Ooh, it's twitch on the exit turn 3. Then Anonymous looks like he's pretty safe from anything. He's got a nice gap behind, got a little bit of a gap in front. Not going to be able to close that in 1 lap without a penalty for someone up there. And then we do still have a fight for P6. So Hasseldorf made his way forward really well, and now he's got to defend himself from X9G. But they need to be careful not to lose too much time, because Sinuphat is there and Auto's not too far behind either. So this could become a 4-way fight for P6. Everybody well within track limits there. Anybody thinking about going for a move into turn 1? Probably not. You're usually better off setting it up for turn 2. Not sure if XNIG got a little bit of a bump there from Senor. He was super late on the brakes. Closed him up to Asador initially, but he did cost him on the exit, and got Auto getting close to Senor again. Is he going to send it? Yes, he is. Nice, gets it stopped. Ooh, looks like he had a bit of a slide on the exit though. That might be enough for Senor to come back ahead, and it is. So Senor is definitely going to have to defend into turn 3. Also again trying to commit to the outside. Looks like he might have got... Ooh, maybe not. No, it looks like he was closer this time than last time. Still couldn't quite manage it. Goes to the inside, but there's not anything happening. Let's jump up to the leaders. Not sure if Perry was trying to fight Kellen or not if in this race, or if he's just happy to take the 1-2. But it's been a great race from the Jaguar team to get the 1-2. Taz getting the podium position ahead of Ben. He just picks up a penalty. It isn't going to cost him anything to Anonyma though. And Asador does hold off XNAG, head of Senior Fat Auto. Gilles gets the final reverse grid position. Thrall the first to miss out, just ahead of Prime Call. Elian, who actually dropped down quite a few positions. Oh, 42 early on. Must have missed the spin for Elian then. Gets a penalty for good measure. Then Eroticos. Not sure he had any issues. Looks fair. Oh, never mind. Last lap he did. He's lost 16 seconds. Something went wrong there for Eroticos. Evening, Senor Fac. Then got Astro. Was not. He's strange. He was doing really well at CGV. I think he actually did well in one of the races at Nürburgring. But yeah, just strange. I think it was the sprint race he did okay at CGV. Maybe it's just a feature race. Well, no, he struggled there in the sprint race. So definitely not clicking with that Mazda yet. Evening Prime Call. But yeah, we will jump across to the feature race once it loads. I think it's going to be a fairly straightforward strategy for most cars. It is a very low tyre wear track. And medium soft is possible, or soft medium, because Gilles is starting on the softs. Don't know, he did say he made a mistake somewhere, so I don't know whether that's the strategy error or we're going to see something else happen for him. Also on the mediums, is everybody else going to be on mediums? Okay, Elian on the softs. That's an interesting choice. True, fair. Ritaka was saying the same thing in Tier 1 as well. He ended up doing medium hard. But I think most of the FR cars will be fine doing medium soft. It might be a push, but they should be okay to do that. Let's see. Mazda's usually pretty good on tyre wear. Honda is fairly stable. The 458 would be the one that might struggle with the rear tyre wear. If I had to guess, which MRs are going to struggle? Obviously, Senor Fact just told us that the Lambo, it wasn't easy. So that's going to be quite close, potentially. So I'll have to keep an eye on it. We're looking at around basically 17 or 18. Maybe 19. If you're really not confident on your soft tyre wear to pit. And nobody's starting on the hards, which is not particularly surprising. Because that is not a tyre that you want to start on. The lowest grip one, you're going to come under pressure from all the cars around you, as we've got Senor Fact right onto the back of Auto immediately. Auto obviously 100% defending that. He was desperate to get past Senor Fact in the sprint race, but couldn't quite manage it. Oh, got some moment happening behind for the Jaguars. Somehow surviving, but that looked a little bit leery. So Perry sent... Oh, Perry with an insanely late move there. I think barging Ben out of the way. Let's watch it from Perry's cockpit cam. So he's right up behind Taz, obviously pulls to the inside to try and go for the move. And then he's just too late on the brakes, ends up bumping Ben out of the way. Oh, it almost loses it to Taz. Well, works out for him, but I believe he does get a penalty for that in the stewards room, because stewards results are out. And it's cost Ben quite a lot, a couple of positions already. And Ben is someone I think might have to go medium hard potentially. So that is going to be another problem for his strategy in this race. But it works out pretty well for Kellen because he's got him up ahead of Taz and Ben. Not the kind of teamwork you want to see, but it did work. And I think Perry's the one that's been a little bit harder on the tyres than Kellen, so Perry maybe might struggle with the medium soft. Anonymous, I'm pretty sure, will not have any issues. Asseldor depends on the car. Sometimes struggles with the tyre wear, but I'm just immediately flashing back to the Corvette season where all he did was roast the tyres. And the Peugeot should be better than that. Well, there's been no changes up at the front. But crucially, Gilles isn't getting away on his softs. So that's not good for Gilles, but it is good for everyone behind him. If he wants to break the slipstream, he's going to need to really use the softs in this next sector of track. And he should be able to. This is where the Ferrari should be good as well. It's got a lot of natural rotation. So it should be able to carry a lot of speed. It looks like he is. Still probably not quite broken it, but he is pulling away ever so slightly through this sector. And that last corner might have done it. So that is going to be massive for Gilles. Doesn't want to be towing these people along. They're on the completely opposite strategies. And I would imagine Gilles is going to be going for softs to mediums. I don't think I've ever seen a soft hard strategy. And I'm not even sure it's worth trying, because it's rarely ever the right way. Usually better going medium hard and doing longer stint on the mediums. Because if you do soft hard, you've got to spend a lot of time on the hard tyres, and it is not a desirable tyre at all. Currently going purple. Does have the fastest lap as well. Exiting turn 2 in first gear, that's an interesting choice. I'd have probably been in second there. Just gives a bit more stability. It's not as twitchy. But he is slowly managing to build that gap. Nobody in the group behind is really managing to break anybody. Everybody's basically in the slipstream. We've just got the last two have potentially had an incident, possibly. Maybe must have been on the first lap, because their first laps were 3 seconds a lap slower. And Rocko's was very close to going over the curb there. Luckily, just about managed not to get a penalty. Having a nice battle here with Monster Cat though. Trying to hold on to P15. Ooh, a little bit of a bump there. Mistiming the switchback. And just has to pull in behind. Monster Cat going super defensive really early. Does pull back to the racing line though. Ooh, that went wide. Could be a penalty. As well, yeah, it is a penalty, and Orocco's getting a good run, so he might not even wait. Muscat goes to cover the inside. Orocco, is he going to go for the switchback? Well, he tried it. But the Honda's got good traction out of that turn 2 as well. So now really all he needs to do is stay as close to Monster Cat as he can. And just pass him in the penalty zone. It's not really worth the effort of trying to manufacture a move in this section when you can see they've got a penalty. You can still see on the minimap, oh, somebody's made a mistake. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. Who was that? Oh, it was Ben. Where is he going? What happened to you? Oh, you spun from Taz. Not 100% sure that was fully on Taz, because I think Elliot was maybe trying to go down the inside of him. Oh no, he does bump him. Oh, he gets a lot of... Oh yeah. That's a really unfortunate incident for Taz, mainly for Ben. Because Taz just got a little bit of a bump from Ellie in there, which pushed him into Ben. Nothing Taz could have done about that. Because usually he couldn't react quick enough to do anything to pull the car tighter and not hit Ben. But that is really unfortunate for Ben. Got a little bit of rear damage, but that's really not the issue. He's lost so much time from that. Quite a ways off the back of the grid. Barocos did manage to get past Monster Cat, who's picked up another half-second penalty. So how much time did Ben lose from that? 14 seconds pretty much. It's going to be tough to make that back. Gilles again setting the fastest lap. He has broken away enough to not be giving slipstream, but he's not really gaining all that much. 30.5 on mediums for auto is a good lap time. I'm curious about the fuel. Yeah, auto burning a little bit more fuel than certainly Senor Fac. XIG is actually surprisingly similar to auto at the moment. Because we've seen in the previous races, auto has just been going absolutely flat out and not doing any fuel saving whatsoever. And if you're doing that, you really need to use it to build a gap, so that it doesn't cost you in your pit stop. But for now, he's okay. Coming up to 5 laps in, tyre wears, plenty of tyre wear. Oh, plenty of tyres left, sorry. So it'll be interesting to see when these come in. X9AG, we know he's on pad, and he is burning through the front tyres a little bit more than the cars ahead. Still think he's going to do medium soft though. And also, and X9AG probably want to look at the front tyres, although also slightly wearing the rear tyres more on the Honda. The Lambo, we definitely want to be looking at the rear tyres because they're the ones that are going to let go. Ooh, X9AG having a slide out of turn 2. Ooh, got some tyre squealing in the background. Perry in 6th ahead of Kellen, so the Jaguars still just together. I imagine this might be Kellen returning the favour for the sprint race. Just try and push Perry forward and move together as a pair. And we are starting to separate now. There is a gap from P4 to P5. And how are Gilles' tyres looking? Very worn. He can do, if he pits lap 9, he should be able to go mediums to the end. He might need to do a little bit of fuel saving. How's his fuel looking? Slightly better than a couple of cars behind, so he might be doing a little bit. But because it's such a high-speed track as well, the fuel does play a big role in what strategy you can do. As we've just noticed the track map, Monster Cat has obviously made a big mistake somewhere. 54, that's 24 seconds, or 22 from his lap times lost. So that is a big, big time loss. Not sure what happened to him. It must have been a spin, but That is a big spin, a big off track somewhere. As we've got Ben currently going purple on his medium tyres. Pretty similar to Rotiko's. Rotiko's actually slightly worse in the GCR, which is surprising. And Astro with a 1.5 second penalty. That's got to be 3 separate penalties. I don't think there's any way you can pick up a 1.5 second penalty here just on weak penalties, like in one go. But that is going to cost him a decent amount. Maybe not quite enough for Rotiko's to get the move done, but it's going to drop him pretty close to him. We'll keep an eye here. Got a Rotiko's coming flying. Well, it is enough. So Rotiko's gets that position up into 13th. Head of Astro now down to 14th. But yeah, just something is not clicking with this Mazda. Very interesting. Almost a 35 on the last lap. Near enough 5 seconds taken out by Ben. So that gap is going to come down pretty quickly, and so is this one. That rear tyre, the rear left, is not looking good on Gilles' car. Is this potentially going to be where the mistake comes from? Or is that... But he manages to keep it on track. But that has brought Auto right onto the back of him. And now Auto probably will go for a move in here. He's got the better tyres now. Oh, he's drifting it round the corner. Looks all good though. Managed to get it done. Is Gilles going to bail into the pits? I don't think so. I think he has to try and go one more lap. Gilles' mistake soon, yeah. I'm imagining it's probably something related to the tyres going off. Because they are lap 10. Please don't tell me you tried to go for 10 laps. Those tyres will not go that far. You should have picked this lap now, on lap 9. Unless he did it on his out lap, maybe. Cold mediums. It's possible. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so there's your mistake coming. He's about to get passed by X90G, although gets a good exit, managed to hold the position for now. Just going for a 10th lap on those is ballsy. If it's going to be anywhere, it'll be at turn 1. Going over the curbs and the rear will just let go all of a sudden. Ooh, X90 trying to get to the inside but couldn't quite do it. See, and like this is definitely the time to pit. Those tyres are going to be so close to being completely dead. And he's just managed to hold up X90 and send you off back for a bit. Now's the time to get in. Andy would have held them up through this last corner. Did he want to come into the pits? I kind of want to look at that from his point of view. Yeah, he does. Right, so it's not an intentional strategy. It's a mistake, and then he wanted to cut across, but he just can't. So, that makes more sense. He knew that he couldn't go 10 laps, but now he's being forced to because he couldn't get it into the pits. And he's going to lose it here? No, actually. But I think the tyres are now going to die by the end of the lap. So that is what's coming. As we've got the Jags making more progress in the background. Perry still ahead of Kellen. And now we've got Senor Fat going for the move. Gilles, not really anything he can do about this. And yeah, they're not going to make it to the end. He's going to have to be so careful on the exit of this corner. Ooh, and yeah, that's not really being careful. Yeah, I mean, it's heads up from you, because not a lot of people would have realised that that's what he was trying to do necessarily. Like, if you didn't see the indicator beforehand, you would have no idea that that's what he was trying to do. But he was kind of damned anyway, because even if he'd come across to go into the pits, he would have got a 3-second penalty, 100% for cutting the pit line. And this getting into the pit lane now is going to be even more treacherous. Is he going to overshoot again? Oh no. Don't know if he had any help there or if it was just a tyre lane go. Luckily he doesn't get back onto the track. No, it lets go on its own. Messes up Perry quite a lot. It's 2 positions gone. Does Gilles manage to get into the pits without getting a penalty? No, but he has to wait for a gap to go across. He isn't going to get a 3-second penalty, but he's had a much bigger penalty than that. So that is Gilles' race well and truly ruined. And it has spread the top 3 out quite considerably. Auto now with a decent sized lead over X9G. So in fact still pretty close to X9G in the fight for the podium. Then we've got Kellen Astor with a 0.5-second penalty. Taz has managed to get around Perry. I don't think that was from the incident. He must have put Taz within reach to go for a move. Perry looking to immediately fight back. That looks very late on the brakes. That might have just barely been okay. Let's have a look. How much room? Ooh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. There was enough room, but the contact happening before that, not great. I'll have to check the stewards on that one. I don't know if that actually got reported or not. I'm pretty sure Perry got a 1 5-second penalty, but I think it was probably for the lap 1 incident with Ben. So it'd be interesting to know if he gets another one for that. Because that is really going to undo his race, because Red Bull Ring usually tends to stay quite close, because it's such high speed and you can gain so much from the slipstream. It's hard to break it. The groups tends to stay together. So if it's 5 seconds for lap 1, going to be doubled to 10. That's going to be a lot of positions lost. Still holding on to P6 now, and he's lost the toe from his teammate, so Kellen is just going to have to try and solo this. He's up into 4th already, and he's not too far behind the leader, so the win is not out of the question by any means. We know he should have the pace. How's the fuel looking? Actually slightly better on Kellen than everyone in front of him, so it's definitely not out of the question that Kellen can get in the fight for the win. We've got a few cars that have dropped off the back now. Obviously, we've got Monster Car, who I'm not really sure what is going on. He's getting a lot of penalties, and he's had a couple of problems, a couple of 10 seconds off on laps before that. Gilles, we obviously know. He's made his pit stop, he's going to the end, but he has lost a lot of time on his in-lap with the spin. And then, obviously, Ellie inside on the softs as well. So when did you come in? When did Eileen come in? Probably end of lap 9, looking at the times. So he was on the same strategy as Gilles, but look how much time he's lost. From having to do the extra lap and the spin, and all the waiting. So their strategy is not really working out so far. How's Ben doing on the lap times? Dropped into the 31s. Must be probably a penalty when he did the 32. Back into the 30s on the last lap. Still closing into Orozco's, who's been very consistent. Astro's managed to get past him though, but has a 0.5-second penalty serve, which is going to drop him back towards him. Then we have a bit of a gap up to Prime Core consistently. Look at the times, consistent 31s every lap, not making any mistakes, not getting any penalties. This is what we talk about with Prime Core. He's got great consistency. When he's got pace as well, he's a very dangerous combination. Currently in P10, how's he looking on the fuel? Decent. He's one size a little bit more than Anonymous. Anonymous is very good on the tyres though. And so is the Mazda, so that's a good combination for him. And particularly last week, he was great on the fuel. So I'll have to keep an eye on that when they do come in for their pit stops. Ooh, throttle with a half-second penalty. Don't think it's going to be enough for Taz to get the position. No, throttle goes to the inside, manages to defend it. Oh, I think that was just on his own. Drifting it around the final corner to get it back on the track. Doesn't manage to collect anybody. Let's have a look. Was that on his own over the curb? Yeah, just lost it on his own. Got on the serrated curbs. And the 458 was not having it. Like I said, that's what can happen at turn 1 as well. If you go over that inside curb and you just get a bad bounce, it keeps bouncing. Just amplifies the problem. But there's a nice free position for Taz up into P7. That's still on the back of Perry. So Perry, although he's got past, he's going purple though. But that does make sense. The Jaguar should probably still be faster than the 458, especially with lower fuel now. And he's not lost too much time to his teammate. How are their tyres looking? Yeah, Perry is slightly worse on the tyres. Not significantly, but we've got a couple of laps more before these guys start to pit in. And top 3 still super close. I'd say if anything they're closing back together slightly. Yeah, Senor Fat the fastest of the 3 on the last lap. Just into the 30s, 31.2 and then 31.4 for the leader. So managed to take half a second out of him. How are we looking? The Ferrari's pretty even on the tyre wear. Lambo's definitely wearing the rears first, and Honda the same but to a lesser degree. Which is good. You want the tyre wear to be even in the MR cars, or as even as possible. Also using all of the track, cutting all of the inside curb. It's nice you look like you got a good exit though. Being a little bit smoother through turn 1. And goes purple. Again, lower fuel playing a decent factor in that. Also the fact that Gilles, when he set the lap on the soft side, it's the last sector where he's really going to gain over lap time. So they might be matching him up until the first, maybe second sector, but they should lose it in the last one. So, have we got any battles going on? Everybody looks fairly evenly spaced out. Taz got a half-second penalty. Shouldn't be enough for Anonymous to gain, though. Ooh, throttle with another half-second penalty. Ooh, got a yellow flag. Is that for someone getting out of the way? That might be for Monster Car getting out of the way. Yes, it is. Looks like he's going completely off track there to get out of the way, so that's good driving there from Monster Car. Make sure it doesn't impact any of these guys' races. But yeah, battles. It looks like we've got a group that's fairly close here, and I would say the fastest guy is the one at the back. So we're going to stick with this for a couple of laps till I think the pit window opens for everyone. And see if Ben can... Ooh, that's probably going to be a penalty though. Just as we turn on, yeah, half a second penalty. See him just go over the curb, a little bit too wide. His front tyres are getting pretty warm. So that does make sense. Road cars are actually still worse somehow. An Astro, slightly better, but that could just be car difference. I wouldn't say that he's necessarily doing more tyre saving. gets out of turn 2 pretty nicely. How are we on fuel? They're basically all identical, which is very impressive because I would have said they have very different rates of burning fuel. M6, usually if you're going flat out, it burns quite a lot. GTR is probably the best in Group 3 right now. Especially when you consider like keeping the pace and fuel saving, because I know the Lexus has a massive tank. Oh, Oricos makes a mistake. It's going to give him a half-second penalty, and he puts him wide. Oh, will it give him a half-second penalty? Yes, it will. Well, he's not going to serve it this lap. So he could get this position back for the moment, as we've got, I think that is Monster Cat spinning in the background. So he's really just not having a good day. It's very strange. He has such a good race at Nürburgring as well. Maybe a lack of practice. Possibly just not that familiar with the track. Or he just really doesn't like the Honda here. Also an option. I've got a Rotocos coming under pressure from Ben. Ben's out in the slipstream. Surely he's going to go for the move. I don't think a Rotocos is going to defend this with the penalty. He doesn't. Ben gets to the inside. Pretty much completely ahead on the exit. And there should easily be able to hold this. I don't even know if Rotocos is going to fight this back. No, he's not. He's just sitting behind for now. Ben does have a little bit of a gap up ahead. Lastro with a half-second penalty. It's going to cost him some time. Dropping back towards Ben. But interesting to see if Ben pits this lap. Because if the mediums only go 17, he probably does need to go one more. And then do 9 laps on the softs. But we do have our leader in. Anybody else coming in? No. Okay, so X90 and Senor Fak having to do 18 laps on the mediums. That is crucial. An extra 1 lap undercut is going to be big. Also does have to fuel up a little bit more because 2% would have not been enough for him to get another lap out of the tank. And then we have other drivers in. So Auto in, Asador in, Taz in, Anonymous in, Prime Call, and then Astro. Both the Mazdas and the Ferrari, not surprising, doing really well on the fuel. Auto will still be comfortably first out of the pits. And he's in clean air, that is big. He's not fighting anyone, he hasn't got to overtake anyone who's out on old medium tyres. He can just put some laps in. So let's have a check at what the fuel is looking like for the leaders. Very low. Senor Fak's got quite a lot. I don't think... I'm pretty sure that's not going to be enough to go an extra lap. They're both going to have to come in this lap. X9G definitely will. I would be surprised if Senor Fak has enough fuel to stay out, so they're both going to be coming in this lap. Pretty sure. Yeah, they're both coming in this lap. Yep. Oh, somebody's spun. Oh, that's the Rollgeist on the old medium tyres, and now he has to wait. Oh, yes, he has to wait to get going. Perry and Kellen in, so both the Jaguars in. Kellen with a decent amount more fuel and a half-second penalty though. I don't think so. It's just that he had Auto came in with 2% and Taz came in with 11. So I think that's the difference in the amount of fuel they're using. I would be surprised if he underfueled by that much, because I don't think he was close enough to actually jump anyone. But yeah, everybody fueling up. Taz, yeah, I don't think he would have gained a position by underfueling, because there's enough to put a little bit more in if he wanted to. I think the Ferrari was just that much better on fuel. So that's just the advantage, because Anonymous gone up to 50, and he's actually done a lap, so he put more in. Maybe Taz did underfuel then. Because both the Mazdas had about the same amount of fuel, but they've gone to 50%. Oh, but he did gain in the position on Perry. Well, looks a little bit of a late send from Perry. Not his first one on Taz either. But now the Jag's going to work together to try and hold this position. Kellen needs to be careful that he doesn't make any contact. Doesn't manage to get the position, but that doesn't really matter because Kellen had the half-second penalty anyway. But out front, it's basically stayed as it was. Front three still very close together, in the same order, pretty much the same gaps. So that fuel advantage they had has negated the undercut pretty well. Now is Kellen going to lose his position to Asseldor? Still holds 6th. Got the inside line. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Pulls out of the move, drops in behind, so he does lose that position down into 7th. Also currently with the fastest lap, 29.7. And they are going to have 1 lap fresher tyres. But obviously at some point, because they wear the tyres more, as Kellen goes back for the move, into turn 1, very nice. Managed to get a good exit as well. That's really the important part of making that move in turn 1, is you don't cost yourself time, you don't ruin your exit. Because Asseldor, if he'd had a better one, would have had an even easier opportunity to come back. Does get to the inside. Kellen looks like he get a better exit. And holds on to P6. And Asseldor not getting the drive out of turn 2 and isn't close enough to go for an immediate fight back. Ooh, Kellen went a little bit wide there. You can use all the track, but looked like Asseldor line a little bit tighter gained him some time. Current going purple as well. Obviously we'll have to see what the leaders do. Otto is the first one who's going to get a chance to beat his own fastest lap. It looks like these guys are just spacing out a bit. It looked like Senor Fat was closing in to XNAG there. And he does take the fastest lap. Ooh, took a chunk of time. 6-7 tenths out of XNAG. Ooh, that might just be okay in regards to getting a penalty. We'll have to see as he goes under the barrier, or under the banner. And he doesn't get one. But Ben does take the... I promise it wasn't intentional. Yeah, no. I would never do that intentionally. It's just irritating how often that is actually what the correct thing to say is. But now Kellen onto the back of Taz. Is he going to go for the move? Yeah, very late on the brakes. Great move there from Kellen. Just super late on the brakes. Got the move basically done before they even got to the corner. Ooh, and Asseldor with a half-second penalty. Maybe it's the fuel saving that Taz is having to do. Because he does have a lot less fuel than even the Mazdas. And they had the same amount of fuel in stint 1. So he might have underfueled. Anonymous does get that position up into 7th. Then we'll have a quick rundown while things are a little bit calm. So we've got Prime Call all on his own in 9th. Really solid, really consistent. Don't think I've seen him get a penalty so far. I may have had one in the first stint because he did have one slightly slower lap. Then we've got Astro. We've seen him have quite a few penalties, but he's still in the top 10. Then we've got Ben MK taking the fastest lap again. How much time is he taking out? Almost a second out of Astro up ahead. Then we've got Gilles on his medium tyres. At least the good news is that he'll easily get to the end now because he did an extra lap on the softs, which he didn't want to do. And he's got to defend from Eroticos, which is not going to be easy. He's not even bothering to defend. I think he's just got to hope that the mediums swing back to him at the end of the race at some point. Otherwise, he's kind of locked into 13th now, because Elian must have made a mistake somewhere. Maybe a couple of mistakes in a row, 45 and a 46 a few laps ago. Monster Cat is still really struggling. He's a lap down. 2.52 fuel, pitted a lap later than him. Yeah, that is pushing it. That is going to be pushing it. It would explain why he's lost the positions to both the Jaguars pretty easily, and I think he just served a penalty then. Just going to drop him back a little bit more, because like this is the comparison. Anonymous and the Mazda, which we know are great on fuel and had basically the same fuel at the pit stop, have got around 5% more fuel. So that's a lot of fuel saving for Taz to do. Because Anonymous is still short shifting. And Taz is as well. And I think he absolutely has to. He might even need to do more than he is doing, which is going to cost him, especially with Anonymous and Acidos so close behind. Oh, but it looks like we've got a fight for the lead starting to brew up. Auto has got way more fuel, which we know does usually burn more fuel, so that makes sense. Does X90G have enough to just go flat out and attack? Sinofat got a little bit more as well. Still setting a PB on the last lap. P2 and P3 setting basically the same laps. Also not as good. 30.0, lost 4 tenths. Now with the tyres, still slightly worse, so they haven't completely equalised, but I don't think it's at the point where there's going to be a noticeable grip difference yet. Nobody looking to go for a move into turn 1. Oh, big slide there from X9G. Somehow managing to keep speed through that as well. Nicely up into the slipstream, does also defend. He does, but he doesn't cover all the way to the inside. X9G doesn't want to dive down and narrow the line that much for turn 2. Gets a good exit. Oh, he's going to look to the inside of turn 3. Again, not being able to commit on the brakes. Because Also's doing the right thing. Just sort of go to the middle of the track, leave them a little bit of space on the inside if you want to, because it's very dirty over there. Doesn't get used. So absolutely sending it down there is risky. Because it means you've got, not one, you've got the dirty tyres. You're on the dirty part of the track. You're not going to have as much grip. 2, it narrows the line so much that you have to brake even more than you would if you're on the racing line. So Also's doing absolutely the right thing. Just put it in the middle of the track. You don't need to go all the way to the inside every time. And he's just holding it for now, because he doesn't want to go on the dirty part of the track either, because it'll just make his tyres worse. Oh, and his rears are starting to get quite low. Gets to turn 1 pretty nicely though. It's actually Senor Fact that's really close on the back of X9AG. Maybe not close enough to send one yet. No, just goes really late on the brakes to the outside. Try and set up an exit from turn 2. Didn't look great though. Ooh, some tyre squeal from Perry in the background. Looks all fine on the mini-map. Senor Fact again, really late on the brakes. The rear sliding. X8G's tyres are holding on the best. Well, the most even. The other two are definitely wearing the rear tyres. Oh, another twitch there from X9G. I think he just managed to get away without a penalty for that. But has cost himself a little bit of time. This has just settled down a little bit now. So we'll watch through turn 1 just to make sure we don't miss the foreshadowing. And then we'll have a quick rundown and see where everybody is right now. Because there are a few other tight battles looking at the minimap. Or at least one. Oh, there we go. He still manages to save it. But it does cost him the position. So, big slide. Cost him second position for now. And frees up Sinner Fact to go after Auto. Does still have the better tyres as well. So, before this battle starts kicking off, let's have a quick run down. So, we've got Perry in fourth with a definite penalty to come. Kellen has got a half-second penalty to serve, but he's got plenty of space behind him, so not really going to make a difference. Taz looked very slow and stuttery coming out of that corner. Has he got his fuel under